This is Weekend Work on Shade 45.
It's the Bad Boys of Radio, Love Dinero, Coach PR, and this is Weekend Work, and we got a special guest zooming in on us right now. Legendary. I'm going to let PR finish it. Go ahead.
The legendary, the legend, the Grammy Award winning, the platinum artist, the rock and roll hip hop fan, inducted artist. Did I say that right? Right.
Man,
Whoever I say, Chuck D, man.
Chuck D, what's up,
Hey,
man?
listen, I'm inducted on the Bad Boys of Radio show, man. That's good enough, man. We could just.
I like that. Man. I like that. Yeah, see, I like that right there, Chuck.
Yeah, you know why you like him, Love? Because he's right next door to us, bro. Right when you come from where he's at, from Hempstead, Long Island, you got to come to Queens. You got to go right there.
Queens. You got to go to Queens, Long Island.
I'm from Roosevelt. I'm born in Flushing, 1960. Lived
Exit 21 in the Southern State.
There you go. Roosevelt. Right. And lived in South Ozone Park, man, the first 10 years of my life. Moved out to Roosevelt, never looked back, man. But, it's all the same. Coincidentally, we were talking before, man. It's like this goon at the top, man, also born in Queens, man, who actually...
What are you talking about, Trump?
Yeah, born in Queens, 1948, man. And this dude at the top, man, it's like, look, you got your half-baked celebrity status or whatever. You a spoiled brat with real estate and privileged props or whatever. You got your half-baked football team in the USFL, your casinos, you paint your logo on helicopters and jets at LaGuardia. Cool, whatever, you could be whatever. But the president of the United States is what we had a problem with, man, because we know you're not that dude. You don't need to even be there because government and politics is serious because you're talking about the governorship of millions of people and the rest of the world looking in at this and saying, how y'all let that happen on your watch? Because we like saying, he done found a way to play three-card money with the rest of the United States and had them all fall in love with an illusion. But it's very important because we as black folks, and this is why I'm gonna boil this down. I'm gonna be real quick on the politics. It's simple. No need for micro differences. It's the side that you on versus the side that hates you. And the reason I say that, when they say that your lives don't matter, and telling you and blatantly waving a flag at that, that's telling you that's spreading hate, or that's spreading all the ills or the isms, be it racism, sexism, and yada, yada, yada.
All the isms.
No time for micro differences, man. It's like, don't start getting into the dynamic, whether the skull and bones and Obama was part of that, or, we don't know about Biden and all that. He comes out. Listen, man, save all that pontification, man, for November 4th, when the animosity brews up no matter what. And you just got to be ready, stay woke. That's what we say. What you going to do when the grid goes down? It doesn't say
the name of the album.
The name of the album. You don't hope for the grid to go down. It's like, what are you going to do if it does? It means beware of government tricks. Governments meaning plural, not singular. They all in cahoots together.
Right.
Be aware. Be woke, know who you are, know who you ain't, which is really sometimes more important than knowing who you are. And just be ready, stay connected, be prepared, and don't be scared. You could be connected and be prepared and not be scared.
Be scared.
You could be a little nervous about it, but a grown person, you got to pull your man, your woman up. Just got to pull it up. You got a man and woman up and say, you know what? This is for the youth, and the youth is 18 years and younger. That's why this movement was a young energy. It doesn't mean it was youth. It's the meaning to tell somebody 36 that they not youth. They young adults, man.
No, I not wrong with that.
Leadership, yo, man. Leadership to me, 40 to 65, man. 65 is a wrap, especially in authority of power. Go on. Old
and live your life and chill out.
Yeah, not chill out. You should be there for counsel, advice, maybe direction. Sit to the side. That energy is 40 to 65, man. And numbers are real. You know why numbers are real? Revolutions around the sun. Anybody tell me that numbers ain't real, I'll be staring at them like, Listen, man, I'm from New York, man. Really, seriously, you must stretch December into February. So when everybody's on January 1st, you like December 61.
It's still December.
Yeah, numbers are real, man. Numbers are real. They revolve
Chuck,
evolutions around the sun. Yes, sir.
Yo, Chuck, how do you feel about Trump fooling everybody, act like he gave everybody money that's already theirs?
It's part of the government tricks that you have to stay ready, stay aware, stay awake. See, if you don't know enough, that you should point to people who spend most of their time politicking all damn day long. It's ugly. They roll up their sleeves. It's unattractive. It's unattractive. It ain't what they call, like celebrities is always shaking to the lights, as I say. You shake it to the lights. There's a lot of people in the trenches. They not shaking to nothing. They seem boring, uninterested. They are uninteresting. That's just what it is. They in the nooks and crannies. They will tell you the dynamics of politics. Let me tell you, they will also tell you the dynamics of scholarship. And the reason why we can't sleep on scholarship, you know why? Because scholars put in the time reading things that they don't like.
You're right. They don't like.
They got to read the books that they disagree with and comprehend them. That's
the
why
ones that we don't like also. Right.
We only read what we like. I read what I like. A scholar reads what they don't like. And a scholar reads what they do like, or they read what they don't agree with, and they read what they agree with, and then they have a conversation on it. That's why we can't sleep on tenure. We can't sleep on scholarship. We got to say, damn, you the scholar in that. Because you doing and reading all the ugly work. Dr. John Hendrick Clark read until he was blind, man. You can't out-scholar. You couldn't out-scholar him because he read all the bullshit as well as bringing himself up on the things that giving us enlightenment. But if you don't read the BS, you can't put the BS to bed because you can weigh it.
How can you even talk about it?
That's what I'm saying. So that's what has gone crazy and loose in society, of people talking about fake news, fake history, and all that. If you don't learn the fake history, you can't weigh it against the truth.
Right. You can't deny that there is a fake news. There is. The question is, what are you going to do when the grid is going? What are you going to do,
man? My job and artist responsibility, is to shine light on those that know. Once we assume and there's never been a mantelpiece that said Chuck D is the one that's the scholar, that's the pioneer that knows. No, our job was to shine light on the Dr. John Hendrick Clarks or the Dr. Francis Cress Wells or anybody that puts scholarship into the time they learn, and shine light on them. I'm the celeb. I'm rapping. I'm going to shine light on them. I'm not going to assume that I know what they know. It's my job to shorten it, truncate it, make it digestible, simplify it. That really throws a lot of pressure off of your role trying to be something that you ain't. How do you feel about all the battling of the speeds and the platforms and all that stuff? How are you dealing with that?
I just think everything is is out of control right now, man. Just sitting back and just seeing what's going on. That's what I was going to ask you, even to, the situation with the whole cops things and how they're treating us, and the first situation you've been through back when you was out, did you ever see it still going on to this day?
Yeah, because I've been to 116 countries, and it happens differently everywhere. You go up to Toronto, it's a different thing happening up there. So the biggest thing between back in the day and right now is that people have been born and then people have died.
Gotcha.
That's the biggest. People change, the systemic racism, all the isms, that's what we work on to make change with that. But you can't go off and say things like, yo, man, it seems like we've been through this before. How you going to tell that to somebody 20 years old? They ain't been through it before.
They ain't been through that before, yeah.
Right.
They ain't even lived life yet.
And they're going to come and confront things that happen to still be around. And that's what you call systemic stains are still around. And so you got to, this is why you always got to work on systemic racism, all the ills, the isms, the sexism and all that. You got to, it's constant elevation. It's constant working on that. You got to erode those things because they're like mold, man. Mold don't go away by just sitting and hoping to just go away. It's mold.
You got to keep on working on it. Keep on working that shit is off. How do you feel? What was your thoughts about Breonna Taylor's decision? Did it surprise you at all? Because truthfully, for me, it didn't really surprise me, bro. I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked.
It's so long that this been going on, you expect to expect it. And you got young people who have grown up into it. They do nothing but expect to expect it, which means some change has had to come. But you're looking at new fascism anyway. Fascism with new shiny faces with the same old smell to it. But if you can't recognize the smell, that's what it is, man. And police in the United States still comes off of the standards of the way they handle animals. Somebody put up on social media that Michael Vick's dogs got more justice than Breonna Taylor. And nobody could say that better, man, when I heard it.
That's the honest truth.
Number one, you deal with people. You don't handle people. And policing in this country has long been, we care about property owners. We don't really care about people. If you don't own no property, it don't mean nothing. So this is why there's a lot of tension around Black Lives Matter. We've heard folks that say, you know, we're not saying that. We screaming like, yo, listen, we're not saying we matter more. We saying we want to matter as much. They're not even hearing that.
They don't hear that.
But what the thing is that, to me, Black Lives Matter is bigger than an organization. It's every single movement against what says and treated us like we don't matter. It's every single, even you could take old school lukewarm organization like the Urban League or NAACP, still an organization, whatever anybody want to think about, and they need young energy, so all you got to do is join. But regardless of the fact, they still was an organization that said Black Lives Matter against a situation that said we don't matter. So they're part of the movement too. They're not just like, oh yeah, they're this terrorist organization. Then you got the top goon at the top saying them and Antifa are a terrorist organization. It's not about the organization. It's about the thought in the movement that we do matter.
Yeah, they want to change the narrative though. They always, the narrative's always been changed, right? So,
man, they stir the narrative, man. They stir the narrative like it's a big ass pot, man.
Well, let's control the narrative.
Simple. Fight the power is simple, man. Fight the power. When Fight the Power 2020 came along, it was a BET idea. We done bumped head for years of BET because I thought they could be more than the Booty and Thug Network.
Booty and Thug Network.
Yeah, that's how you spell it. B-E-N. That's that and Thug. B-E-T, the Booty and Thug Network. But we battle heads, especially when they went from Uncle Bob Johnson, sold it to them, and then they thought they could just do anything with the culture because they actually did numbers and was making money. I said that you got an accountability, because the question is man, at what point, and this is the same thing that was addressed to Def Jam, at what point is importance great or as greater than popularity? You can't weigh us by numbers. Listen, the quantity never measures up to the quality. How many Bentleys do they make compared to like Kias? So I'm just saying that the quality of us as an existence, white supremacy and business in America ain't never looked at that as being something that rolled alongside our whole life flow. So Fight the Power is about fighting for peace and love. That's the ultimate thing that you can fight. Peace, love, understanding, knowledge, wisdom, all that stuff, man. You got to fight for that in white supremacy, though. So Fight the Power 2020 was an idea that popped up. BET, Jesse Collins, thought it was an idea. Since young energy and younger people were going to their local areas, especially after the murder of George Floyd, and that was magnified. People was like, we don't know, we can't get to DC. We don't know nothing about the president, all that stuff. We're going to go to our town and make some kind of movement. And even if that meant pulling down symbols and statues that we never knew about, that we find out about, that's derogatory, and we're going to move on that. Why you think
Fight the Power.
Why you think this goon at the top said, I'm going to give you a 10-year sentence for taking it down, whether you like it or not? That shows you right there. That is a power that's fighting against a power that's derogatory and wrong. And the point is, when they said, Chuck, we know maybe some other artists should do something at this moment, but they haven't, or something that we haven't heard, or Chuck, we believe that Fight the Power got to be it. We get and Questlove is gonna put it together.
All right.
That means I gotta be stupid, right? For me, like, nah, I think somebody should. Nah, you know,
Right.
y'all do. Nah, I mean, after a while, OG status also makes you understand that that's the flow, that's the momentum. It's positive, it's good. Go with it and salute.
Let's go with it. Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Came from.
Let's get into that.
Let's get into it.
You got
Fight the
Power
Power 2020. Let's go. Nas, YG, Rhapsody, Chuck D. Who else is on there?
Black Thought.
Black Thought.
Who's a computer. Black Thought is a black rap computer, man.
Yeah, he is.
And my good brother Jahi, who actually joined Public Enemy in 2007. And he's already a 17-year career, but he's young with us because he's in his 40s. And he teaches in the Bay Area. He's originally from Cleveland. And he's a great rhyme partner and a great rhyme writer. And to have him on that is really a blessing. And they made it happen, man. And YG, people were so surprised that they didn't think YG could spit consciously on something like that.
I want to talk about that when we come back. Yeah, let's talk about that when we come back. Triple H Shade 45, Fight the Power 2020.
Bad Boys of Radio, Shade 45.
This is Weekend Work on Shade 45.
Bad Boys of Radio, Weekend Work, Chuck D, Public Enemy, DJ Dinero, Coach PR. Man, Chuck, man, we appreciate having you up here, bro. But I got to ask you now, what with the Fight the Power that's now, was it because of because that call that you had, or did you see what was going on to say, you know what, this is definitely, I need to do it?
No.
What was the push?
I believe my old school status, OG status, should be counsel, guide, direct, stand aside, let people do their thing. I run a 10-station channel network called Rap Station, man. We play everybody, the consequences, the substantials, you know, all the stuff by, you be 30, 20, whatever age, I play you, I promote you, I salute you. But in this one, they were like, yo, Chuck, you got to be part of this with this song, and then we'll sweep everybody in on it. And that's how that was born. I went with that positive energy, and I said, yeah, all the better for it. I think the statement I made to the time is that something that me and Primo put together, because every time I would see SOTU, State of the Union, on TV, I was like, STFU. And then I was like, SOTU, STFU, stay away from me, sorry. And so that was the original title of the song. And all you needed was Flavor, because you can't unhear Flavor. I don't care what year, you can't unhear him. Matter of fact, you can't unhear me. So with me and Flavor together, you just can't unhear us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So that song was the song that we thought spoke to the moment on this dude. But Fight the Power spoke to the moment on the strength and the solidarity of this total collective movement of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and staying woke.
Well, speaking of Flav, right? Whatever happened? Did y'all break up? Like,
yo, man,
was that a rumor? Was that a rumor?
Like,
no. I kicked his ass out for 2 days. Now, I said, listen, man, in order to be in the house, you got to do work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, you can be a star, you can be a celebrity, but you can't be a star, celebrity, no work if we got to work together. So he's been like, yo, man, let's work together, man. We're going to put this on a major. And then Def Jam came up. I'm like, bro, when you go into a situation like that, you got 1,000 people working hard, interviews and all that. I know I'm going to cover 90% of the work. Step up. This time I need you to do 25% of the work. So we came to that understanding. Public Enemy is Chuck D and Flavor Flav and all the other stuff underneath it. But if he doesn't do his job, that job ain't working.
But he said that you can't kick him out because he is Public Enemy. So was he really kicked out? Was it timeout or what happened? You know,
he was sitting his ass on the outside on the curb, looking at the house, and I said, "Come on in. You know what
Come
to
on
do
in.
now."
Y'all are like brothers, though. Y'all are like, that's like your brother,
Well,
though, man,
my
right?
brother know he will be kicked down on the curb, man, if he don't do half the job.
So
Yeah.
whatever
I will
happened in
do.
terms.
Listen. I will do 90% of the job. You got to do 10% of the
You gotta do
job.
something,
Right.
man.
Something.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I,
my
that's what I
thing is
tell.
like,
That's what I tell Melvin all the time, man.
Whatever,
Like
Calvin.
he does 10%, which is these interviews. I gotta do the mixing and everything. Like you gotta do
Whatever,
some
man.
work, Melvin. Come on, man.
I
we
do. I
gon'
do.
I'm
we
gonna put
gon'
you on the
be
curve, man.
me and the whole camp. Let me tell you, man. It's a 50-year-old family, man. But it ain't your family. You gotta say you grown. You 61 years old, man. I ain't gonna ever tell you what to do. But if we gonna work, we gotta work. You know what I'm saying? That's simple as that. And
So
so let me tell you. So when
yeah.
Flav was like, "Okay, I'm ready to work," I'm like, "Okay, cool." We already did. We did Enemy Radio, which is a MC DJ sound system of PE. Loud is not enough. Flavor came in and did Fool is a Machine Gun. Did his thing. Fine. Got a Public Enemy album that you want to put out this summer. Okay, this is what it takes. Is you gotta have to work. It was for us to put it out. He came up, stepped up, did his percentage of work. Finally, that's what happened. That's why we're talking right now. If he doesn't step up and do work, we don't have a conversation. I mean, we
Right.
do.
Right.
We could talk about anything. But the reason we have a conversation because he stepped up and did the work. If he don't do the work, then he ain't gonna be no Public Enemy record. And I'm all right with that. I'm always gonna make records, do recorders, do the radio shows, do the whoop whoop, whatever. I love making the Public Enemy record, but it starts from Chuck D and Flavor Flav, and then everybody else falls in, whether it's, like even Terminator X.
That's what actually happened to Terminator X. Yeah.
He retired. DJ Lord been Public Enemy DJ for 20 years. So 20 years is like quarterbacks, man. It's like you got Michael Vick, you got Joe Montana. If Michael Vick comes in, it's like Joe Montana could sometimes catch a cameo position. And Terminator X on Public Enemy #1 was just fantastic. So he's my guy. He's been doing a radio show for all this years on my network. I mean, it's like people get in and fit in. I have an open door policy where not only is the door open, there ain't no door. Especially this album, I said everybody could come on in.
Everybody come on in.
Everybody come on in and sit down. Now, your number might not be called to be the first in the forefront, but you in the room. So that's how it goes, man. And then performance-wise, I don't think anybody's going to be doing anything in 2022 anyway.
All right. How did you feel when you see Flav do reality TV? Because he was one of the first to break in that door.
He was 23 years old when he was on that TV last doing reality TV. That was 13 years ago, bro.
Yeah. How did you feel then? Like, because everybody was like, he's doing reality. How does Chuck feel about him doing reality?
I mean, his father. He was older than me, man. You listen. Everybody in Public Enemy better figure out what they doing in their life. When they go home and lay in front of their wife ain't thinking about Chuck. Hope not. Their wife is looking at them or sibling, or they looking at them like, "Daddy, you got to figure something out." Right.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Right?
When we come together for the brotherhood. We don't come together for the fatherhood.
Right.
We come together for the brotherhood. So everybody coming from their own side. I've always encouraged, do your thing. Try to understand the road you make for yourself. I could help you. But if you make a road that's difficult, maybe I can help you in your road, in your life, in your situation. But in this thing, we could come, get along, whatever, go forward. And then when we detach, we go back to the areas that we do our thing. Now, you guys do a show together. I'm pretty sure that you ain't eating every meal from every plate. Y'all don't share plates like that.
Nah,
not every plate. Not every plate.
He don't even give me. I don't even get no plates with this guy.
Wait.
You order something. You order something on that side, and you do something on that side. Now you're eating in the same restaurant, but you're ordered from the same menu with two different plates of food.
Yeah, you got it.
That's life.
What do you think about radio? I want to get back to because I want to talk about the album real quick before we let you out.
Yes, sir.
with radio not playing a lot more conscious, you know, I wanted to talk about the not conscious music, but you know, the militant, the real music about real life, just. And now that you did that, I see that the baby just did his. Lil Baby got his. We wasn't hearing music like that for a long time. It was a big gap.
Every generation. Harry Belafonte told me, Paul Robeson told him, every generation got to fend for itself, man, once they reach a grown status. You can ask an OG about advice and counseling, but eventually you got to look at your old self. If you're over 18 years old with your kid excuses out the window, you ain't asking nobody how to eat. You ain't asking anybody how to screw. You figure you old and grown enough to do what you got to do. That goes in all those other aspects of life too. So if you feel that you got to speak up because you old enough and people are looking up at you, then that's your obligation that you got to fulfill.
Isn't it because radio's just not playing it and the artist feels like, I'm not going to do that because radio's not going to play it anyway?
Well, I think with the situation, just happened, it shined a little light on it, so it made artists want to record more of those songs because we had a fleet of those that artists that did. You said Baby was Meek Mill,
right now this year, but there was a big gap because radio wasn't playing those music, and there were artists like that.
Listen, they grown. They know when something's wrong.
Radio?
No, I'm talking about the artists. The artist is grown. They know when something's wrong. So they're going to speak to that. Hip hop and rap music, you all know, it's made for the floor and for a party for us to have a good time. It's just that for a minute, how good can the party be when you got no security at the door? So I'm saying, those songs are what you call security at the door songs, man. They not in the middle of getting the floor popping and jumping and all that. They security at the door songs. So the Baby got to say something. Meek Mill got to say something. An old school artist, Paris or Arrested Development got to say something. They're going to say something. Back in the day, we used to say, with your album, at least drop a song for the hood. You know, and cats used to do that. So the minute you chasing something like radio, come on, man, radio is so old school. People go to they listen and watch it through their phone so much. What is radio? Radio is a whole different thing. People listen with their eyes now. You know what I'm saying? So they radio is from back in the day, got bought out by so many different situations. They not really ever family. So they never ever gonna feel like family. So you got to move on to areas that you can get out there and get in on. The artist, it's up to somebody to feel like, hey, I want to do something that's important because I feel I should do something that's important. Not somebody making me say something that's important. I'm 41 years old. I got gray coming out of my face. I got a 24-year-old looking at me. I can't pretend I'm 21. So I'm going to say a song like this because I feel that I'm equipped. I got enough knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and age and all that to actually control the narrative. And then I'm going to get off to my whoop or whatever. That's the organic beauty of hip hop and music, that it is about making us feel good. It is about making us leave the reality and then come back to the reality because we was able to get a release and relieve ourselves. But so I never said that it's not up to me wanting people to, oh man, make a conscious record like Public Enemy. That's my makeup from where I come from. In my mind or what I see. I never, ever in my life told somebody you should do what I do because I'm equipped with so much that I can make it sound like it's somewhere else. Or me and Flavor together, don't believe the hype was made off of a dissertation, man.
Wow.
Fear of Black Planet was an album off of Dr. Franz Crescent Welson's dissertation. You're not going to get that out of watching Flavor Flav go like this and 911 is a joke. You're not going to. You got to peel back so many layers. So that's what my technique was. I had to have a technique to stand out against Big Daddy Kane, Run DMC, Too Short, all those cats, Salt and Pepper. Everybody was about finding what worked for them. That's what worked for me. And when we said, do your thing. But at the same time, if you feel grown, drop something represent your grown self once in a while. That's all we suggested.
That's all we asked for.
That's what we asked.
Album is out now. Chuck, when the grid goes down, what you gonna do when the grid goes down? It's out now.
Chuck, we appreciate you hanging out with us in the morning.
Y'all. Thank y'all.
We appreciate you because I know we'll go on all day.
I know, right? We got other things to do. Thank y'all so much.
I appreciate
y'all
man.
for being y'all.
The Bad Boys of Radio.
Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do?
They're taking over the airwaves. So turn your radio up. Weekend Work is now on.